journaling time.
Woo! How'd you like that new intro? Sorry, folks. We're starting a little later today because I was trying to figure that out. never a clean technical situation here, but that's what happens when you go live. If you don't mind, give me just a second, folks. I need to edit some video settings here. A little out of sorts today, but you know what? That's kind of like the best time to journal. Get you back into sorts, if you know what I mean. All right. 1 second, folks. All right, we're back. We're back. Sorry, folks. I'm trying to add new songs, add new videos, trying to keep it fresh here in the journal party. Looks like I'm super washed out here. This is going to be a good one today. All right. So, I've been a little out of sorts lately, the past few days. Been real grumpy. And you know what? I guess everybody just has days like that, right? Like, even though I lead a journal party group and a wellness group, every now and then you just get a little out of sorts. And, well, like I said, journaling is great for that. And so we put together a pretty solid program for you today. One of the things that I like to do when I'm feeling the way that I have been lately is to, I guess, just focus on things that I'm grateful for. Once you start doing that for any length of time, it's really hard to stay mad or grumpy or anything like that. And so, the reality is I live a very blessed life, and, I know everyone's coming from different, walks of life, different circumstances, but I think no matter what's going on, if you start to pay attention to the things that are going well, the blessings in your life, you're kind of training your brain to pick out the positive things. And, I actually caught myself doing that with my fiance, I guess a couple days ago. We were driving somewhere and like we were both just like looking around, like just picking things to not like. And, yeah, so I think noticing that, though, was able to say, all right, well, let's kind of flip the switch a little bit. Let's try to pick things that we do like. And pretty difficult thing to do on the highway in Los Angeles, but either way, it's good to be intentional, and it's good to kind of flip the script a little bit. So anyway, I see lots of people in here. This is exciting. We've got Shelly in the house. Hello from Minnesota. Got Mary. What's up, Mary? Got Ruth from Dallas. Got Jackie from Maryland. Mary from Goshen. Well, we already talked about Mary, but she's from Indiana. It's awesome. Got Valerie in here. Hello, everyone. Julie. We got Snow White. All right. Deidre's in the house. Mary. This is great. All right. So, I appreciate you all showing up week after week. And if you're new, welcome. Let me know if you're new. I always like to see how many new folks we get in the house. Jackie likes the intro song. Good. All right. Okay. So we got at least one newbie. Got Elizabeth is new. All right. And I'll bet, there's probably a few other new folks in the house. So, Eternal Abundance, cool name. Yeah. So let me give you guys the rundown. I apologize if you've been coming week after week. You probably know what I'm going to say right now. But anyway, this is welcome to Journal Party. This is Journal Party Live. This is something that we do just about every week. We've been on a pretty good streak with it, and basically, what we do is we like to get together and journal through the newest programs that are inside of the Journal Party app. So let me add this to the screen here. Oh, that's interesting. 1 second. Gosh, all sorts of technical stuff today. Thanks for bearing with me, folks. Really appreciate it. Okay. There we go. All right. So what you're seeing on the screen right now is the Journal Party app. And so this is actually me streaming it from my browser, but we actually also have a mobile version available. And you can get that if you go to journalparty.com, there's links to it. You can also just go to the App Store or the Google Play Store and search for Journal Party. And inside, you'll find a bunch of free guided journaling programs. We also have the lives in here. We have got the podcast, all sorts of really great programs. And we do have a premium offer available, but whether or not, you're looking to looking to spend money on your journaling habit, if you show up to these things, we typically debut the newest premium programs for free. So it's kind of a little sneak preview of what's going on inside of the Journal Party app here. And so today's program, as I was mentioning at the top, is called Count Your Blessings. So these prompts, there's 10 prompts. Each one we're going to give about 3 minutes of time to. And they're really just focused on helping you shift your state into one of gratitude by paying attention to the things that are really blessings in your life. And I know blessings can be a loaded word for some folks, and so we try to be what's the word there? I try not to make this like a religious thing, but at the same time, I think blessings doesn't have to be tied to any religions. It can be something that's just going really well and something that you can appreciate. And when you start to pay attention to the things that you appreciate, I think you get more of them. So we got 10 prompts here. This app, just for the record, is it's not an app that you actually write into. It's meant to be just a companion to your journal. So the idea is you open it up. Like I said, we've got all these really great programs in here. So if you ever want to have a focused and guided session, this is where you do it. You can pick the topic. And inside, there's also player controls. So even though we're going to go for 3 minutes per prompt tonight, if you ever want to go back, you can. You can move around and skip around with the player controls or pause if you want to take more time on a prompt or something like that. And also the replays will be hosted inside of the app as well as YouTube. So if you're not subscribed to our YouTube channel, we're trying to grow that a little bit. So please subscribe and like the what do you got to do? Smash that like button. Now you gotta hit the little bell, and that will actually give you notifications whenever we go live. So just a little trick there, because sometimes when we go live on Facebook, it doesn't always push it out to everybody. So I want to make sure you guys don't miss anything. All right. So does everyone get it? Is everyone ready? Anyone have any questions or anything like that before we get started? I want to make sure everyone's ready to rock. Let me know. Give you guys a couple seconds. All right. Hopefully we don't run out of music tonight. It kind of cut me off. That's what the delay happened. I was uploading all the tunes for tonight, and it it cut me off about halfway through. I think we'll be all right. But all right. So I'm not seeing any questions or anything like that. So I'm going to assume everyone's ready. So if you are ready, go ahead and open up that journal. I will read the prompts to you and then kind of disappear into the background and kind of keep the music going and everything. And then at the end, what we'll do is we'll all share our insights. So you don't have to share what you wrote, but often when we go into our journals, we emerge with a bit of wisdom, a bit of insight that may not have been at the surface. And it's really awesome to share all that stuff with each other as this tribe grows. And you'll see a lot of us already kind of know each other, and if you're just coming in, I think we're excited to get to know you. So don't be shy, but there's also don't feel obligated to do anything. This is super chill, super relaxed. there's no wrong way to do this. Just have fun, I think, and we'll see what happens. So let's see. We've got a couple of questions. What do we do? Just continue to write. Okay, so each prompt will kind of give you a new prompt to write about, and so I'll keep it moving there. And once we get through the 10 prompts, then we'll just kind of talk about it. And of course, if you want to take additional time on a prompt, feel free to do that. This isn't no one's grading you or anything like that. Shirley, is there going to be a replay of this? Yes. So there's always replays hosted inside of the app under the Journal Party Live section. And also on our YouTube channel, you can watch the replays as well. All right. Looking good. All right. Let's get this party started. We're running a little late, so I'm going to kick us off. Let's get started with that first prompt. Go ahead and open up your journal, and I will read it to you. This one's called Smiles. Write about the things that made you smile today. Just start writing. All right, coming up on the next prompt here. This one's achievement. Describe a recent achievement and why it matters to you. Impact. Reflect on people who have positively impacted your life and how. All right, your next prompt is overcoming. Write about a challenge you overcame and what you learned from it. All right, here comes your next one, health. Reflect on aspects of your health that you're grateful for. Describe a place you feel safe and what makes it special. skills. Write about a skill or talent you have and how it enriches your life. Next one is kindness. Think about a moment of kindness you experienced recently and how it made you feel. All right, we're getting through it. This one's joy. Reflect on material things you own that bring you joy. All right, welcome to those just joining us. This one's connection. Write about a recent moment of connection with someone and why it was meaningful. All right. We did it. Wow. Sneaks up on you, right? How did everybody do? Let me know. Um, Gosh, I look so washed out. Just need to dial down the light a little bit, I guess. Goodness. All right. Well, so anyway, if you're new, typically what we do after we are finished with the prompts is we take a look back at what we've written, kind of reflect on our reflections, if you will, and see if there's anything that you want to share with the group. So, usually that's in the form of insights or wisdom that you may have gleaned just from the act of reflection. But also, as we grow as a community, it's also nice just to share anything that's on your mind. We're a community here, and it's really nice to check in with each other, hear how everyone's doing. If there's something that you've been working on, feel free to let us know. We're a very supportive bunch. And so if there's some way that any of us can support you, I'm sure we'll all be for it. And, also if there's anything that you're going through, I want to be careful about that because I'm not a mental health professional. And so, for some of the heavier stuff, there's some of what I say, may not be good advice. So obviously be wary of that. But at the same time, because we're such a supportive bunch, if there are things that that you're going through, we can all have a sense of empathy about it, and just be there for each other. It's nice to hold space for each other, and especially in a digital way. It's really cool that we get to connect so far and wide, and that this thing is growing. And that's one of the things that was just frequently coming up in my reflections here. It's just such a blessing that we have all of this great technology at our disposal, and that in a world that is just increasingly heads down and stuck in your phones, scrolling and swiping, basically doing the opposite of probably what the technology was intended to do, which was to bring us together. But I actually feel like we are coming together, and it's a really cool thing, and I'm really grateful for it. So just getting in touch with that made me feel a lot better. I still feel a little jumbly, to be honest, but I definitely feel better. And actually, you know what? That's something that you might want to try doing if you're not doing it already. Is check in with yourself before you start journaling, and then check in with yourself afterward. In the app, we actually have a trackers section, and so you can track your mood or your energy levels, and it's pretty rudimentary. It's pretty basic. You just give yourself a score, like a single digit score, so 1 to 9. Actually, I guess you could put a 10 in there too. 1 to 10, what's your energy level, or 1 to 10, what's your mood like, and do that before and then do that after, and you can actually track it over time and see how this practice is affecting you. And it's cool to see that trend be something that you can kind of control. It's always nice when you're not in the best way, which like I said at the top of the call here, I've been a little out of sorts lately, but it's nice when you have a practice like this that you can really lean on, and come out of it at least feeling a little bit better. Let me get this out of the way here. All right, so I see some people are dropping some shares in here, so let me take a look at what everyone's saying. Also, let me know, is the music too loud? Sometimes it does that, and I'm gonna dial it down just a little bit, because now we're hanging out and we're talking. All right, cool. All right, so let's see. Mary said, wrote about some important people in my life. Yeah, that was a good prompt. It's really good to take notice of the people who affect you. Not that you want to be an energy vampire or anything like that, and hopefully none of us are that kind of person. But it's real great when you can identify somebody that's got some good juju, or somebody that just lights you up, because you can intentionally put yourself around those people. What's that saying, that you tend to become like the average of the 5 people that you hang out with the most? It's definitely true. I mean, I think it happens on like an income level. I mean, take that for checking, right? But if I look around, it's like, yeah, I guess my even my income is like the average of the of the people that I hang out with. But beyond that, it's good to have good influence, and it can really knock you out of a funk, or even more explicitly, like I have friends who will call me out when I'm out of sorts, and if I'm it's really awesome, because if I'm not actually present enough, or don't have the awareness to take notice of that, and change it, sometimes somebody can kind of give you a little kick in the pants that you need. I have friends like that, and my fiance is definitely like that. Let's see. Snow White says, "Wow, there's so much to be thankful for." Yeah, including you. Thank you. This was right on time. No better way to charge forward than when you appreciate what's already around you. Thank you. Oh, you're so very welcome. Yeah, I think it's real easy to. I mean, I think like we're just hardwired as human beings to constantly want more, or something else, something different. And it's real easy to overlook the things that you have. And I think that the world has a funny way of bringing you more of when you're actually appreciative of what you already have. I think that's sort of the secret. But yeah, you're happy that you got something out of it, Snow White. Cece says, I liked that I wrote about my material things that bring me joy. I feel truly blessed. Awesome. Yeah, I mean, I almost didn't even put that prompt in, because I was wondering if like people, would feel like, I don't want to focus on the material stuff. But the reality is it's a part of it. This life is very much it's material. I mean, obviously, right? You look around and you're surrounded just by the evidence of like the physical stuff. But it's important to acknowledge that in addition to the spiritual aspect, or mental aspect as well. I think especially in like the wellness community, or like spirituality or metaphysical type of stuff. Like I've seen, it's a lot of people will like, I think, kind of trend overly spiritual, or overly mental and heady. And that's not to say that you shouldn't dive into those spaces, but you can't ignore the material, because that's where you are. That's how you show up. And I think, like the sweet spot is to be able to, see where you are, in the physical world, and, have some awareness about that, but then, go within and cultivate a state of being that you can bring back out into that world. And, I think it affects it. I really do. I forget who said this, but, it really resonated for me, which was that it's not your circumstances that create your state of being. It's your state of being that create your circumstances. So I try to remember that, because it's really easy to, especially when you get knocked on your butt, which every now and then, like some of us just go through seasons. Some of us probably feel like it's like a lifelong season of getting your butt handed to you. But it's real easy to look around at all your circumstances and say, oh, that's why I'm not happy. But I think the reality is you can stop at any given moment, and you can choose a better feeling state, or you can try to lean into that and cultivate it. And then when you come back out, and start to re-engage with the outside world, and you'll find that your circumstances improve. And at least that's been my experience. So yeah, I'm glad you have some material things that are bringing you joy. It's definitely all right to appreciate those material things, and of course, don't get too attached, but be grateful for what you like, what you enjoy. Glad you got something out of that, CC. Teacher says, recognizing the beauty and joy in the simple things brings peace to my heart. Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think about like nature, right? It's just naturally beauty, just because it's or natural beauty, just because it's just simple, and it's always been what it is, and it's always transforming into something else. But there's a beautiful simplicity to all of it. When you drill down, even to the the base components of anything, when you get down to the particles, you see that, I mean, it's weird. It's like a paradox. Simultaneously, the most complex, but also the most simple thing ever. And I think it's often the simple things that really, really matter. I was thinking about that a bit when I was writing about the kindness prompt, because where you think about an act of kindness, and how it made you feel. And actually, I was fortunate enough to have quite a bit of sorry, we got the songs chopping out here. I was actually fortunate to have enough quite a bit of groovy. Sorry, I was fortunate to have quite a few moments of kindness that I was able to pick out that I felt great about. But I was just thinking about my fiance and how a lot of the acts of kindness that she does are just like these really little things, these little simple things. And at first I was like, oh, I got to find some grand gesture that somebody did and try to appreciate it. But I actually, upon reflecting on that, I was like, it's the little things, like when she brings me a snack, or just really dumb stuff, or reminding me that the game's on because I wanted to watch it. I mean, like just really little simple things. But I think in some ways it's those smaller simple things that are more meaningful, right? Because it's not like because it's just something that's built in, something that's built into the experience, something that she does, and as opposed to some grand gesture that you might look at and be like, oh, why are they doing that? Or I don't know. I don't want to overly judge it, but I agree with you. There's beauty in the simplicity for sure. He says thank you. You're very welcome, Shelly. All right, I think we got maybe a new face here. I was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer at the beginning of this year. I'm really sorry to hear that. Expressing gratitude is one of the things that is helping me, and thank you for the great prompts. Yeah, cancer's a tough one. I've never personally had cancer, knock on wood, but my father had stage 4 renal cell carcinoma. I think I've shared that in past lives, and obviously, there's a whole journey that goes on with that. It's really hard information to receive, and you probably go through the stages of processing that information. But I can only really speak to my experience here. I just remember kind of being in awe of my father, because even after getting dealt what most people would agree is a pretty tough hand, I think that he found ways to really tap into that gratitude, like you said, and it really does help. I mean, last thing I want to do is give any false hope or anything like that, because I know that the situation is very serious. But I can share that. I mean, his particular case, he was not given very good percentages in terms of what could happen, and even with that, he chose to kind of focus on things that that he was grateful for, and also just to really cultivate that state of being, as opposed to letting his circumstances determine it. And he had all sorts of little rituals about it, which I thought was kind of cool. I don't know. I don't want to share too deeply on that, but what was interesting is when there was a marked shift in him. I think initially, obviously, it was very difficult and challenging, but then, once he started to kind of focus on that and really lean into the gratitude and the goodness, because, let's face it, life, whether or not you get dealt that hand is finite, and it's important to focus on the things that really matter, and the things that make us feel good, and things that give us meaning. And, once he started to kind of make that shift, he was able, despite a ton of odds, to push himself into remission. I mean, there was people saying just how you're like the one in 10,000 that responds to this thing. So, again, I don't want to speak too much to, because I don't know the details of your situation, but good on you that you have a positive attitude about this, because it really does make a difference. I mean, I know my story and my share is anecdotal, and not backed by data or anything like that. Although I'm sure I could probably get I guess that it could probably get some of that data. I don't know. I can't dig into his files anymore or anything like that. But I think there's definitely something to it. So good on you, and I hope you'll continue to show up. We appreciate your presence here tonight, and of course, if there's anything we can do to support you in this journey that you're on, please let us know. And obviously, we got to be careful, because not all of us are qualified to give advice or anything like that. But that this isn't advice. I'm just it's nice to be here for each other, and so we're all here for you. Welcome to the tribe. I'm glad you showed up tonight, and thanks for the share. Shirley says, this was interesting and thought-provoking. Thanks for sharing. Would like to be included in your next party as well, to follow along with you. I am in the process of developing a workshop in journaling as part of self-care. Well, that's awesome. Yeah, and thanks for showing up. You're always welcome. We do this free every Wednesday. And so it's usually Wednesday at 6 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. So that would be 9 o'clock Eastern, 8 o'clock Central, I believe. And that's been working out for us as a time. Sometimes we do it other times, and every now and then I gotta go vacation or something like that. But it's a nice thing to be able to get together. So I'm glad you're here, and also will follow along with you. Oh yeah, okay. So the other thing you might want to check out if you're kind of new to this little club here, the podcast is awesome, or at least I think it is. It's my favorite, one of my favorite things to make. And actually, we just released the 93rd episode of the podcast, which I can't believe I've done something for 93 weeks in a row. Talk about, that was one, I might have actually listed that in my accomplishments, just because I think it's an accomplishment. I don't know that being consistent in anything is tough, especially when it's, putting yourself out there. So that was a challenge for me in the beginning, but I think I'm kind of getting the groove of it. And, if you like this format, kind of listening to some music, jamming through some prompts, the podcast is actually shorter. It's about 15 minutes long, and we just do 5 prompts. And it's a good time. So, hope you check it out. All right. How are we doing on the music? It sounds like loud in my ears, but, I don't know. The levels on this app are a little wonky. I'm going to dial it down a little. There we go. Okay. Julie said, the most insightful find tonight was listing out the material things that brought me joy. Okay, we got another one that liked the material stuff. It's one thing to know in your mind, but another to see it written out on paper. That's a good point. It's probably easier to kind of make a sweeping generalization about not having, or having some lack of abundance in your life, but for most of us, especially if you live in the United States, like that already puts you in a very, very fortunate camp. And so, I think just taking inventory of that is a super powerful thing. Let me get some music back on for us here. All right. Althea, I hope I'm saying that correctly, was able to share my journey as a parent, and especially how I discipline my children. They thought I had done a fairly decent job and were trying to decide how to discipline their child. Well, that's really interesting. I don't have kids. I'm thinking about it. We'll see. But I never even thought about that, like how I would even discipline them if I had to. Sorry, folks. I'm trying to get this thing to not wash me out so much. Got this little ring light here. Whatever. We'll have to deal with me being all washed out, I guess. All right. Well, yeah. So I'm glad that you got some feedback from them that they thought you did a good job. Yeah, I got to let my mom know that a little bit more. I know it's probably a nice thing to hear. So thanks for that reminder. I feel like I need to call my mom. Well, maybe not. It's going to be late over there at this time, but I'll probably want to check in with her and let her know that I thought she did a good job as well. And yeah, I mean, maybe throw some advice in there. I mean, I don't know. We're not planning on having kids in the next year, but it might happen. So any tips would be greatly appreciated, or just thoughts on whether or not we should. I'm a bit of a fence sitter. My fiance and I are just like, do we do it, or do we just like travel and and have all the money? That's kind of the thing. Okay. Let's see. Deidre says those are real friends to give you a subtle nudge or a good reality check when you are in a funk, slump, feeling some type of way. Yeah, iron sharpening iron is how I put it. I think that's a biblical thing, but I think it's true. I think it's important that we keep each other sharp. Deborah says thanks for another insightful session. Glad you enjoyed it. All right. Some more tunes. All right. Snow White said that touched me on a soul level. I pray to be someone my children look up to as well. Yeah. So I mean, that's a pretty awesome thing. Let me get this banner off here. Otherwise, people are going to think we're doing prompts still. All right. Shirley says, how do I join this group? Quite thought-provoking and much needed as we grow older. Looking back, how does it impact on the present? Thanks again for this. Well, you're so welcome. So probably the best thing to do would be to download the app, because that's where we're focusing most of our attention on development. So just go to the Apple App Store or Google Play, or you can go to Journal Party Live, and there's download links there. And there's actually a web version of the app that you can access just by going to app.journalparty.com, or there's a link through the website. There's also a private Facebook group, which you're probably a part of. If I see, it looks like you're talking to us through Facebook. But also, another way to kind of keep up with everything would be to subscribe to the YouTube channel. That's another channel that we're trying to develop here. I think we've really grown quite a bit on Facebook, but there's all sorts of there's all sorts of people who don't do Facebook, period. And so we gotta reach the masses. I set a goal when I first started this thing. I want to get 1 million people to join, and I still affirm that every single day. And we're growing. It's probably gonna take a little bit to get to 1 million, but you never know. I do know. We're gonna hit that goal. I think it's reasonable, and I mean, if you're here, you can probably agree that it's a pretty powerful habit and practice to have for yourself. And just imagine if we had 1 million people who were willing to do the work that you guys are doing, which is to go within, take a look under the hood, even when it's not so pretty, and just decide how you want to show up in the world. I think there's so many people who just, they kind of sleepwalk through life and, just scrolling and swiping, just kind of like on autopilot. And one of my biggest fears is just getting to the end of life and feeling like I didn't live it. And so, I mean, journaling for me is a way to kind of verify that I'm actually living my life the way that I want to. And it's super effective. And the other thing is with journaling, you can keep track of it. It's not even like I just think that. It's like, no, I can actually look through these pages and see market trends of growth. And that's a really powerful thing. So I want that for everybody. I want that for at least 1 million more people. Let's see. Lori Hart says, I'm trying to get more involved with journaling again and positive thoughts. I actually wrote about my old friend and also a neighbor. Interesting. I wonder, well, so the old friend and the neighbor, I'm wondering, are those people you were out of touch with and like you need to get in touch with them, or is it, are they still present in your life and grateful for it? Yeah, well, regardless of the answer to that, you're in the right place. This is something we do, and we got all the tricks and all the tips. Not that it's a hard thing. I think the hardest thing is just showing up. That's why, our mantra is just start writing. I think even I resist my journal sometimes when I know I need it. And I always feel so much better. Usually about a page or two in, no matter what kind of head garbage, that's what I like to call it, no matter what kind of head garbage you bring to the journal, I think usually it gets out and onto the page and becomes something that you can deal with in a real way. And it's a super powerful thing. So keep going. We're here to support you in that journey. Mary says, I was feeling very stressed today. I'm with you there. It was good to reflect on the good. I'm grateful to have a home, even if we are selling. Yeah. I mean, I said this before, right? If you're, I don't know if you're in the US, Mary, but I mean, if most of us are, in the first world, like that already puts you in a camp above, like, I mean, I don't know the actual statistic, but it's something crazy. Like you're in the top 10 percentile for sure. So, just realizing that, you've got, food to eat, hopefully, clothes, shelter. A lot of people don't, and it's crazy in this day and age that we have access to such abundance, and it's not always readily available to everybody, but maybe we can make a difference in that. And I think it starts by acknowledging your own blessings, and then finding ways to share them. That's one of my biggest core values I've identified recently, is I just love the idea of sharing, particularly shared joy. I think that's why I create things. That's why I was a musician. That's why I did acting. I just loved the idea of being able to create something that we could all enjoy together, not just me. And so, I love journaling, but I really love sharing journaling with people. And so, I appreciate you all being a part of that. It's one of my biggest blessings in my life right now. Shirley says, where would I find the replay? I think I missed two. So if you go into the app, under, actually, let me see if I can show you. So here's the app again. This is probably what it'll look like if you're on your phone. But once you're in here, you'll see there's a little programs tab on the bottom. So when you click that and you scroll down under Journal Party Live, we post all of the different replays that we've done, and you can actually stream it directly through the app as well. So I'm not going to click this because it'll probably send me into an infinite loop and we might break the whole thing. But you can actually stream it live through there every single week. So hope that answers your question. Snow White says, I was able to look at the material things as investments into my happiness. Oh, that's cool. I'm very minimalist too. So all the things that I have meaning, and I tend to give things away a lot to make room for meaningful things to come in. Yeah, I think that's a good practice. It's good to not be overly attached to anything. Like, I think it's great to appreciate what you have, but I think it's when we get attached to things that, we get off kilter. And, to be able to allow things to come in and out of your life, it's good. I think, it lets you remain in flow and remain connected, and open to things. I think for a lot of us, there's probably a lot of things that are kind of just knocking at the door of our lives. And, if you're not aware of that, if you're not aware that somebody's knocking at the door, you can't go and answer it. Even if it's somebody you really want to see. So I think that made sense. It made sense to my brain before I said it, but yeah, I think that made sense. Charlenia says, simple things are often the best. Yes, of course. Ruth says, hi, Shelly. I too have stage 4 cancer, and journaling helps me too. Thank you to Alex for this group. Well, I'm glad you guys can be here for each other. Again, it can be, I mean, I've witnessed the journey and experienced it secondhand, and I know it's not easy. But just this process of checking in with yourself, look, there's nothing you can do about anything other than here and now. And so to sit down at your journal and, reflect, obviously that can be going into the past, or to project, going into the future. It's good, but then ultimately, coming out and bearing witness to whatever it is that you're experiencing, will allow you to course correct if there's anything available, and also it gives you the awareness to identify things that you just have no control over, and that's been a tough thing for me as a control freak, especially in the area of health, right? A lot of us, I've got some surprises just hidden in my genetics, and I've been afraid of them for a good chunk of my life, and they still bring fear to me, but at the same time, those are things that I can't really control. Right? Like I can't control my DNA yet. I don't know. Maybe there's like some scientific thing that's going to happen, but for now, it's something that's totally out of my control. And it takes recognizing that to be able to let it go. And I mean, that's I think maybe that's like the crux of a lot of this is just being able to let stuff go. I mean, even the good stuff, like try that out. That was an interesting jump for me. I had a teacher kind of make me aware of this because it's, obviously we all know, like we got to let go of the stuff that's bothering us. There's that idea of like grasping a hot stone to throw at your enemy, but you get burnt. So the idea is to let it go. So that's easy. I think that makes a lot of sense on the surface for a lot of us. But the other thing is there are good things in our lives that are, while they're good, I think they're, if you become overly attached to them, you cling to them, you're not allowing space to be created for, what could even be better. And I try to remind myself of that when I lose something that I like. But I'm glad you found us. I'm glad you're all hanging out with us here, and of course, let us know how we can support you in any way. And I appreciate the vulnerability of the shares, everyone. Snow says, do both. I'm not sure what that was in reference to. Let's see. Sherry, I watch you on YouTube and on my TV. I love that option. That's cool. So I'm on the big screen right now. I'm like a TV star. I was a failed actor. So this might be as close as I get to getting on your TV. Appreciate it. What a blessing. Mary Kay says, decide how you want to show up in the world. Yeah, I robbed that from my therapist. I'm not going to lie. That is a soundbite that he has just, embedded in my brain. And I don't know if, he invented that or coined it or, got it from somewhere else. Sometimes I wonder if I'm just like an amalgamation of all like the self-help stuff that I've digested over my 38 years of existence. But you know what? Like, I'd rather be an amalgamation of good stuff. And so I'm glad I have like, I'm glad I'm like predisposed to optimism and to, seeking personal growth. And I have a feeling a lot of us are like that. I think, like if you're here on a journaling thing, like odds are you have a vested interest in your own, personal growth. And, parties are all about celebration. So, journal parties all about celebrating your personal growth. So yeah, love that statement. Awesome. All right. And Luz, I think that's how you say that. So glad I found this page today. I start school next Monday for creative writing in English. Awesome. Well, good luck in school, and I hope you get something out of this. We were talking about maybe putting together, some creative writing programs. Actually, inside of the app, bring this up again. There is actually a whole section for creativity. So this is in the premium section, which is a paid thing. But like I said, we always debut the paid programs. We always debut them on these live streams. So, even if you don't want to spend the $5 a month for Journal Party Premium, where you get, access to all these, you can still kind of dig into the archives of the Journal Party Live. But we've done a few programs on creativity now, and these are really, really awesome. Sometimes it's fun, to just ask some off the wall questions, just try to think a little bit differently, think outside the box. Try it out. I think I'm curious to hear. I've never actually done that before, like creative writing. Not really my that's not really like my art form, I would say. So, but I have used it before creating music, and I think it's awesome. That, or even just creative problem solving. I'm a firm believer that there is a creative solution to every problem, and I try to remember that when I'm up against really difficult problems. But I think someone said this. It's not possible to solve a problem like with the same the same thinking that created it. And so, just by throwing yourself for a loop, prompting yourself with some different ways of thinking about stuff, kind of break you out of that box. And that's I think that's the key. Like it in a way, it's like an automatic letting go, because like, at least for me, I mean, I bring it back to music. Like, I play guitar, and I have this like routine. I think a lot of guitar players, I don't know if any of you guys do that, or any other instrument. Like, when I sit down, I kind of like run through the same set of licks, and it's like, all right, like, am I going to keep playing these same 4 riffs like my entire life? Or am I going to kind of break out of that? And it's when like I challenge myself, like, okay, like let's put your finger somewhere different, see what happens. And that's when you kind of grow a little bit, and new stuff gets created. I think it's a cool process. So anyway, I know that was kind of long-winded, Luce, but if you can, check out the creativity stuff and let me know how it affects your writing. All right, folks, this has been an awesome little session here. We're 20 after. These things are getting longer and longer, and I guess it's because we got more people showing up. But appreciate y'all sticking around. And I know it's not easy to stick around if you're on the East Coast. It gets pretty late. So thanks for showing up, everyone. I really, really appreciate it. It's so awesome. For me, it's such a blessing. This is something I put a lot of time and energy and money, like a lot of resources into all this. And I love it. I would do it whether or not people showed up. But I gotta admit, when people do show up, it is magical. It really lights me up. So with that, actually, I know I just started another song here, but I'm going to send us off by playing the new Journal Party Live theme song. I put this in one of those little apps that just makes a song for you, and it actually did a really good job. So I was pretty proud of it. I'm like, that's going in tonight's live, and that's why I was a little late today and all out of sorts. I'm like, I got to figure all this out, make a little edit, jam it up. All right, everyone. Well, it's been awesome as always. I appreciate y'all showing up here and journaling with me tonight, and for journaling with each other. And, I say hello to each other. Like, I want this to be a community, not just this thing where I'm blasting out my voice into the ether. So I think it's really cool. When you guys all, I've seen it too, like, people posting in the group and, sharing things, challenges or successes. And I see you all rooting for each other and helping each other out. And it's awesome. It's awesome. So, guys, just thank you so much. Thank you so much. I really don't, have much else other than, oh, well, you know what? There are some announcements. So, aside from the new podcast coming out on Monday, let me see, what day is it next week? Okay, so I was going to say we might have to not do next week, but actually it's going to be the 3rd. So we're not going to be overlapping on anybody's Independence Day celebrations, hopefully. So yeah, we'll be going again on Wednesday. The other thing that I wanted to mention is that we have a store in the works. So I've always been reluctant to sell stuff to you guys. I want you guys to know that this comes from the heart, but I wanted to make a resource where we can stock up on journals and guided journals. And I found all sorts of really, really cool, like, journaling decks with prompts and stuff like that. all sorts of fancy journaling stuff. So I'm working really hard on that behind the scenes, and pretty soon we're gonna have some. Yeah, we're gonna have a little journal party shop, and so let me know like if you guys see anything that's cool that you want us to stock, because in addition to the products that I'm actually making and working with manufacturers on, I've been also seeing other things that people have created out there, and so maybe I'll drop some of the things that I'm looking at in the group before I stock up on any inventory or anything like that. But if you guys see anything that's cool or anything that you want, let me know, and we'll try to get it in the store for you guys at like a reasonable price. So, um, at least support something good and don't always have to give Amazon your money. All right, folks. Let's see. We have maybe another. Oh, book club. Oh my goodness. Okay, so I'm so sorry that I forgot to mention this. So we had a little bit of a hiccup with the book club. I think I bit off a little more than I could chew with it, and tried to delegate it, and it didn't go the way that I had anticipated. And so I think while I'm excited about the book club, I'm not sure that I can make it a staple in the journal party group on the regular just yet. That said, I know a lot of you got the book, and if you did, let me know. Send me an email at alex@journalparty.com, or even just send me a DM through the Facebook group or Instagram, whatever it is. Let me know who's got the book and who's read it. And I think probably the best that we can do is we'll schedule something. Excuse me. We'll schedule something, in the next few weeks. We can put together like a little, maybe a Zoom call or something, so we can all be face to face and hang out and talk about the book. Yeah, the book was Book of Doors. I'm not totally done with it, but it's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool book. I don't read a whole lot of fiction, and I'm trying to, and it's books like these that get me amped and like hit myself on the head, like why don't I read more? So, yeah, hey, if you feel like you want to join in on that conversation, please feel free to, pick up a copy. You might have to speed read it, but I would say probably in the next 2 weeks, we'll get something on the books, and we'll all hang out and talk about, literature and stuff. All right, folks. I need to chill out. It's been a day, but I feel so much better than when we started. And, I hope you do too. And everyone, this party wouldn't be a party without you. And so I appreciate you, love you all, and hope you have a great rest of your evening. Hope you have a great rest of your week. And as always, party on.